Welcome to Brawlhalla!
Hello everyone and welcome to another training room tutorial video. I'm Raidhyn from Blue Mammoth Games, and today we're going to be talking about the Katars. The Katars are a very close range rushdown oriented weapon in Brawlhalla that is a little bit different from the other weapons in the game simply because of how short the reach is on these weapons, in addition to a lot of the movements and other things available to it. The way that you get knockouts are very different, the way that you apply pressure and go about racking up damage is very different compared to other weapons. And if rushdown oriented gameplay is your style, this is definitely one of the things, one of the weapons that you would want to look at. So we're going to be doing what we do in all of these videos and going through each move step by step, talking about the uses for each and every one of them. So if you guys are interested in picking up someone like Queen Nai or, you know, Sentinel or any other Katar wielding legends, you can do so. Alright, so let's start off with the Katar Light, the Neutral Light. So, Neutral Light is this try-hitting attack that is always going to pop legends up straight into the air. Now, it doesn't have the biggest range, but it does move you forward slightly. It's kind of similar to Hammer Neutral, where if the second of the 3 hits connect, you will get the third hit, and it will continue to pop them up. Now, what's interesting is that this always leaves them in the perfect position to follow up with an instant recovery to get a nice string going. This is very easy to dodge out of. However, you can typically catch people off guard with this, and if they have just used a dodge to approach you, for example, and you catch them with a neutral, you are guaranteed the combo. So just know that this is one of the most common combos on Katars, and it's one of the ones that you should probably practice and get used to. But this move in general is really good for just, you know, if you get in quick and you have to get a quick move off, this one's really great. And because of how it pops them up, you can always expect them to either dodge or just be ready to be hit with the combo. So this is really critical for kind of understanding Katar gameplay. At higher levels, what's going to happen is people are going to dodge immediately after getting hit by this. And let's see if we can set this bot to jump real quick. Yeah, here we go. Dodge out. And when we get rolling back on the ground, I'll try to illustrate what I'm talking about. And the reason we're spending so much time on this move is just because, you know, any time that you hit any other attack, if you down air, you know, you're probably going to do a neutral afterwards. If you sidelight, you're going to do a neutral afterwards. So, you know, if we hit Roland here with the neutral and he dodges, based on how we think he's going to dodge, we can decide to do a number of things. So if we think he's going to dodge, we can just pause and hit him with the recovery afterwards. If we think he's going to spot dodge, we can hit him with a side air so long as we wait for that dodge to come out. If we think that he's going to spot dodge, we can move forward slightly and then hit him with a signature. And of course, the options for this extend to any number of ways that the character decides to dodge. So there's a lot of mind games that go on after you know, after hitting someone with a neutral. At lower levels where people aren't so ready to dodge immediately, you can get used to just kind of hitting this because if they don't dodge, this recovery is going to hit every time. But just know that this is kind of, you know, this might be a little bit more on the advanced side. We want you to stand. But it is one of those things that you're going to see a lot in Katar play. All right, so let's go over Sidelight next. Sidelight's absolutely awesome because this move just comes out really fast out of chase dodge. It's got quite a bit of reach. It's got hitboxes that will help, that will actually hit players below you if you're using it to edge guard, which is really cool. Let's see if we can get Roland over here so we can demonstrate that. So it's got some nice forward roll to it. There's just a lot of utility in this move, and it makes a really good approach tool, especially out of a full-on momentum dodge here. So you can use this to approach, and then once you get in, you can go into your side, into your neutral, into whatever your follow-up is going to be. So, you know, like with most Katar moves, there's a lot of, it's a very high string potential weapon. So pretty much any time that you hit anything, you want to be ready to follow up with another attack of some kind. All right, so that's Sidelight. Sidelight is really good for approaching. Just keep that in mind. Next, we're going to go over Downlight. So Downlight's kind of interesting because Downlight actually pops your character up, and you can use this as an anti-air to pick people out of the sky. It's also really good if you're fighting against sword players or gun users who like to use attacks that have really low to the ground hitboxes, because you can use this as an approach that also will put you over some of those low reaching moves, which is pretty cool. So you can also use this in combination with, after say like a down air, you can go in and then continue the pressure with a downlight, because with Downlight, what's great is that even if you miss, you recover while in the air, so you can Downlight into down air, into neutral, into a number of different things based on how you want to continue to carry on your pressure. So just know that Downlight does put you in the air at the end of it, and because of that, you can get any number of follow-ups afterwards, which is really cool, particularly the airborne ones. All right, so let's talk about air moves next. So down air is basically a Katar-born version of the dive kick that looks like this. This is actually both a decent approach tool and a really good edge guard option as well. If you do land it, you can go straight into a neutral light afterwards or into a Sidelight, you know, depending on what the health levels are. But this is really good because not only does it put you into a position where you can do a follow-up, but it is also really good at just pushing players off the edge. So if you get a good read on where a player is going to go, you can use this as an edge guard tool in addition to a pressure tool, which is really cool. So just know you can use this to approach and then combo into your ground moves, and you can also use it for edge guarding, which is just part of what makes it really versatile in deciding what direction you want to push around your opponent. As I quickly fall to my doom. All right, so let's get our Katars back. Here we go. All right, so that's down air. Next, we're going to talk about neutral air. Neutral air comes out really quick. It has pretty short hitboxes, and actually is one of those moves that just is really good if you're not sure what other button to press when you're attacking or approaching. If you're afraid that a move might miss, but you know that you're going to be close, neutral air is usually a solid go-to. It hits all around you. It comes out really fast. Pretty much the only downside on it is that if you're directly above someone, that because it has such short hitboxes, it can be contested pretty easily. So you can be hit out of this with most other side airs or anti-airs in the game. But if you're not quite sure what move to use, you know, after a downlight, for example, you can just follow it up with a neutral. And there's this neutral air is just a really good tool at kind of continuing pressure. The interesting thing is that it does hit based on the part of, like, excuse me, well, it does hit in the direction from from what area you're hitting the legend. So if the legend is below you, it's going to get sent downward. If the legend is above you, it's going to get sent upward. And it's just one of those interesting things because you can use it, again, to kind of aim the direction of where you want to send that legend, which is part of, you know, just kind of, again, like, Katars are very much about knocking around and pushing your opponent in different directions based on where you want them to go. So just know that the neutral is going to send them in different directions, the neutral air, based on what portion of the hitbox, what side of it they get hit with, which is really cool because you can use it for both juggling and for spiking, which I don't believe there's any other move that's quite like that. So it's good stuff. All right, moving on, let's talk about, we've talked about neutral air, we've talked about down air, now we need to talk about side air. So side air is your spike. It's your really big spike that's going to do a lot of damage, but it's very different from other side airs. It's very short range, you have to be pretty close, and it also kind of pushes your character along with it. You know, you can see there's this kind of diagonal movement to it where you will be moving forward in the direction of your side air. So you can use this as a approach tool and a pressure tool in addition to using it for edge guards. It's just a little bit trickier than some of the other options, but side air is really good for edge guarding in particular, and the reason for this is because you can hit somebody incredibly far with this, and then you have multiple options with the rest of your Katar kit for keeping that pressure on. It's also really good when you're in these edge guard scenarios to just hit people into the wall because it hits them at this angle that's going to not only send them backwards but also down. And because of this downward angle at which the Katar side air sends you, it really gives you a lot of pressure advantage when you're edge guarding. Oh, come on, Roland. I need you to be not so excited about getting back. Oh, he's just too quick. Come on, I'm trying to demonstrate. Ah, well, here we go. Yeah, that felt good. All right, so just know that side air is a great tool for both edge guarding and, you know, directing your opponent towards that edge guard position when you can get the hit off. depending on, you know, the scenario that you find yourself in. All right, so next up we're going to talk about recovery and ground pound. We touched on recovery a little bit earlier when we were talking about how it combos, but the thing that's absolutely great about recovery is that it has just awesome priority because of the angle in which it travels. It'll pretty much beat out any ground pound or down attack in the game so long as you're coming at the opponent from the proper angle, because of the way that angles and hitboxes and hurtboxes and everything work. Just know that if somebody's coming at you with a really obvious ground pound, Katar recovery is going to be doing a whole lot of work for you every time. It's also one of the easiest ways to get a knockout on Katars, even from center stage, and it's even better when you can get people into a juggle position for multiple recoveries. All right, so that's recovery. Let's go over ground pound. Ground pound is interesting in the fact that it doesn't look like it has a lot of hitboxes to it because it's, you know, just your character flying with their head first. But it is actually a pretty good ground pound move when compared to everything else in the game. It comes out pretty quick, a little bit faster than some of the other ones, and it still has a great amount of force. So while a lot of Katar players don't use the ground pound as often as, say, spear or hammer users, it is definitely one of the tools in your kit, and, you know, just like a lot of other things on the Katar moveset, it has pretty good recovery time, so you can, you know, be prepared to string moves after it, in addition to just keeping up the general pressure while you're playing. So yeah, so that's basically the walkthrough for Katars. I know this one was a little bit more rambly than some of the other ones, but, you know, Katars are personally one of my favorite weapons. I really like being able to have a rushdown weapon on my in my toolkit for characters. So, you know, I've played a lot of Queen 9 myself in the past. I've played, you know, quite a bit of Sentinel when I was really into hammers and all of that kind of thing. So just know that Katars are, if you're looking for an aggressive moveset, Katars are really one of the weapons that you should definitely look at. It's a little bit harder to pick up at first, but it definitely pays off in the long run and can be a lot of fun to play, especially if you like playing a more aggressive rushdown kind of style. All right, so that concludes it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope that it was useful to you and that you were able to learn some things. If you have any suggestions for other topics you'd like to see covered in these videos, just let me know in the comments below. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.